What's going on, everyone? I am the Yu-Gi-Oh! Scrub, but you all can call me Bailey. I just got home from work. I've exhausted through all of the content that I have previously recorded, so I need to record some new content for you all because you guys have the thirst, the hunger, an unsatiable desire for more Yu-Gi-Oh! Content. I know that because you're like me. When a new Yu-Gi-Oh! Video drops, you have to click on it. It doesn't matter if it's a deck you've seen before. It doesn't matter what. You have to click because we are all little dopamine addicted monkeys trying to get the next fix. And it doesn't matter if you know you shouldn't click on it. It doesn't matter if you know you have more important things to do. You'll be eating food, cooking dinner, trying to fall asleep, and you will click the video because we love dopamine. Regardless, I'm hoping to give you all some dopamine today by playing this kind of interesting deck. I haven't seen much Relinquished in Edison format recently, because that's what we're going to play. So as you can see, we're playing 3 Relinquished and 3 Black Illusion Ritual. You could maybe do a 2 and 2 ratio, but it's a Relinquished deck. I'm not trying to optimize, I'm just trying to play Relinquished. Obviously, 3 Manju, not running Senju or Sonic Bird. Manju's the best one. You just want that one normal summon that can get whatever you need. Because it's a Relinquished deck, we are playing the Djinn Releaser of Rituals. D and J should not go next to each other. The Djinn Releaser of Rituals. I think it's also pronounced Jin, not Djinn, but Djinn. There you go. Djinn Releaser of Rituals. Vanity's Emptiness. It can also summon the Relinquished with just using this as from the... Not only using it, but using it from the graveyard and getting a negate of special summons. It's crazy. Also works with the Relinquished because it can't be killed by battle. Well, it can, but you have 1 protection assuming you sucked up a monster. To help facilitate putting the Djinn in the graveyard, we're running 3 Armageddon Knight with also Necrogarda and Plague as targets to send. Reinforcement of the Armor to potentially get Armageddon Knight. If you're going to play Reinforcement of the Army, might as well play Stratos. Stratos also playing Malicious and Plasma. Plasma because we got some token generators, so we hopefully will have a bunch of monsters on field and be able to do something with the Plasma. We got 3 Caius because it's a generic good card to help facilitate the Caius. We also have 2 Cyber Dragons. We have some Lights and Darks, so we're going to play Chaos Sorcerer. 1 of the token generators, Dandelion, and 1 Quick Draw. 2 Dandelion, 1 Quick Draw. We just want to, get it in rotation. I think that Drill Warrior, recycling things like Relinquish, the Arma, the Manju, can be interesting. Playing Dark Arm Dragons, we have a decent amount of Darks. I kind of threw this deck together fast. You guys know how I roll. I don't really think too much about it. I just want to make the content for you all. Allure of Darkness, so we can cycle through the deck. 2 Book of Moons, because it works with the Manju, works with the Relinquished. It's pretty good interaction, considering we're playing 2 Royal Decree, so we actually have some defense in the form of Book of Moon. Brain Control, Foolish Burial, Future Fusion. Obviously, the E3 Yu-Gi-Oh! Tech with these Dandelion Quick Draw decks running Stratos, so you can then reveal Gaia and then dump the Dandy and a hero. MST and the Scapegoat is the last token generator, thinking that it is tribute fodder for the Relinquished, it's tribute fodder for the Plasma, and potentially synchro with it as well. Side deck, a couple DD Crows. We have the Djinn release, not release of rituals, what even is that word? Desiratory? Desire? I'm not going to even try to... It's the Djinn other word of rituals. This one makes it so your Relinquished is unaffected by trap effects. The only thing that does suck is because Relinquished is a level 1, if you use this card, you can't use Release of Rituals at the same time. You can only use 1 Djinn, because you can't purposefully, I'm sure most can't purposefully go over the level. You can go with like a Djinn Release of Rituals and just use a 3 for 1, but you can't do a 3 and a 1 for 1. Once you hit it with 1 monster, that's it, you can't keep going. Makes me want to run a Garlandorf deck. I actually built one back in the day before the Edison was on ladder, and you would just type in like playing Edison, and there was no check to make sure that the cards were legal. I accidentally was running one of the Djinns that makes your card untargetable, and running a Garlandorf that was both unaffected by traps, untargetable, and negated special summons was a pretty lethal combo. Then someone told me that the targeting Djinn actually wasn't legal, and I was like, oh, so mad. I really wanted to run that. It was such a cool deck when I thought it actually worked. A couple Kaiku, the side deck's definitely bad. The extra deck definitely is bad, but it got the synchros in there. So let's just go ahead and play a game. Yes, we'll save the changes. Go ahead. I already know, I feel like at some point it's going to do what it did to me before. It looks okay right here. Yeah, it looks fine. But it's going to get rid of the add that's on top, and then this is all going to shift up. And then I'm going to have to do some on the edit flies to make sure my screen looks okay. But for now, we're looking good. Though I do notice that my face, there we go. There's your on the edit fly for the video. On the fly edit, on the edit fly, saying words is tough sometimes. Honestly, try talking into a camera and being crazy. Basically being a schizophrenic, just talking to yourself for a little bit. It's harder than it looks. Opening hands, Relinquished, Decree, Plague, Caius, Dandy, Brain Control. I might just set the Decree. I'll set Decree, set Dandy. I want to set the Decree just so if he does play a heavy trap deck, I can flip this in the end phase. I was thinking about almost doing nothing, bluffing Gores, because we have Brain Control Caius, but I do want the tokens. I want the Dandy Engrave. There's reasons behind my madness. Lone Fire Blossom, okay. I'll give him a thumbs up for the Lone Fire. You know, I wish I had my water. I should have grabbed that before I started playing. The worst part about having my face here is if I'm like, hey, I will pause the audio and be right back, you guys would just be left. You would know that I've gone. If my face wasn't there, then you could just be like, oh, you know, maybe he's being quiet right now. No, you would know that I've left you. Just like your fathers. Apologies if someone actually had their fathers leave them. I will be your new father, if you so please. Send me your mom's address and contact info, and I will be your new father. That is a guarantee I can make you all. Finger guns. Alright, so he tributes the Lone Fire for a Titanial. Might have the second Lone Fire in hand, though he also could have just kept the other Lone Fire in the deck in order to have a better draw in the future. Most people, I think, go for Lone Fire into the Titanial. Brain Control. He's already normal summoned. Okay, so he's going to quick draw. Okay, interesting enough. So, depending on his deck, he could, in theory, have a decent amount of trap cards. But these decks, these Drill Warrior, Plant, Quick Draw Synchron decks, oftentimes don't run a lot of traps. He is playing a D-Prison, though. Makes me think that that is another trap. Okay. The question here is if I Caius by tributing over the token, then the Caius gets destroyed by the Titanial, assuming I target the Titanial, which of course I would. I can also just go 1-for-1, though, by using Brain Control on the Titanial. I think Brain Control, because if he does let it go through, then I contribute over the Titanial. But I don't want to let that Titanial stay on board, I don't think. So I'll pay 800. Will he negate? Okay, so he does negate. That's fine. In that case, I think the play is to banish the trap. The only thing it could be, that would be that. Okay. It's a Mirror Force. I was going to say Solemn Judgment would hurt a little bit. So I'm fine with this. I didn't necessarily want to banish the trap because I figured that I could use Decree, but I also wanted to get the big Caius on board because Drill Warrior can't get over it. And then I wanted to make sure that if he's going to attack, it's going to be with a 1200 direct attack from the Drill Warrior. He does get he gets a hamster, okay. He goes to battle phase, didn't technically declare the Drill Warrior effect. Okay. He's typing. Technically has to be before damage step, I believe. You can't damage, but I understand what he's trying to do. The reason you can't activate Book of Moon in the damage step is because it doesn't actually change the attack or defense of the monster. I get Stratos here. Alright, I will activate Stratos. What do I want to get? Probably Malicious, but maybe Plasma. Malicious is just going to sit in hand is the only thing, so I'll get a Plasma. This keeps my Foolish more live as well as my Future Fusion, because Future Fusion can dump one Malicious, which will let me get another, versus if I got a Malicious right now, and then I would only have one in deck and a Plasma. So dumping the Plasma would be the best play. Makes it a Scapegoat draw even better. So he has one unknown, Ryko, Drill, Hamster. If I were him, I'd probably attack over the Stratos using the Drill Warrior and then attack for 1100. I suppose there's a chance he is a little hesitant in... I mean, I don't see why he would be hesitant. He attacked the other turn and it was fine. Though granted, he did have the Book of Moon. But if I didn't activate anything in response to the attack from the Drill Warrior the first time... Alright, so he's probably going to Synchro off. Synchros with the Hamster and a Plague, so he drew Plague for turn. He can't bring... So he has a YuGiOh. Okay. Of course, he has YuGiOh. But this does mean that the Drill Warrior will remain on field. Because he doesn't have a card to pitch. Also won't pitch... or be able to activate the Dandelion, the Plague Spreader in Grave. Okay, perfect. Black Illusion Ritual. This is exactly what I wanted. So, Black Illusion Ritual, discarding Necro, special summoning Relinquished, declare, targeting the YuGiOh. And this becomes 2,800. YuGiOh is at 2,000 defense. Just to confirm. And we will attack over the Drill Warrior. I will then set Plague Spreader and end. He could flip Ryko, pop the Relinquished most likely. I'd assume he'd want to get rid of it. And then he can stack the card he just drew for Plague and Synchro for an 8. Haven't seen many traps, but I feel like that's just how his draws have gone. If he's playing both D-Prison and Mirror Force, I have to imagine things like Torrential Tribute and some other traps are in there. I don't feel like you typically play just battle traps. maybe Bottomless. I feel like Bottomless has become a bit more of a sideboard card, depending on the matchup. Obviously, it's still a great card, but there's just enough matchups where it doesn't do anything to where it sometimes makes sense to not run it in the main. So we flip YuGiOh. Does target the Relinquished. He mills Dandy. Okay. Dandy, Judgment, Gores. So if it comes to it, we now know Gores is in grave. He gets 2 tokens from the Dandelion. So we could Synchro for a 9. Could, in theory, make Mistworm here. I don't think that would be the best play, but he could do it. Giving him a Mistworm and 1 token on field. I feel like the best play would probably be an 8. Maybe a 6, but he's already used YuGiOh. So I imagine he would make an 8. Probably Stardust. Red Dragon wouldn't do much. The other options could be Thought Ruler or Colossal. I suppose he could also make a 7. At least a 6. Okay, there we go. 8. Yep, so he's making an 8. The question is what one? Okay, he makes a Stardust. Fine by me. Best draw here would probably be Caius, which we do have 2 more in deck. Future Fusion. Okay, so we'll Future Fusion. Revealing Gaia. Sending Dandy and Malicious to grave. We could now summon the Plasma. It's Elemental Hero. No. God damn it. I'm so bad. I don't think I have another E-Hero. Why is it the only one? Okay, so it's an illegal activation, so I have to go back. It's an illegal activation. I don't have an E-Hero. Yeah. Okay. So that destroys my plans. I was so excited. I was like, okay, we can special summon Mally, either get the Plasma, or we can make a 8 with the Mally and a Plague, and then probably make Thought Ruler attack over the Stardust, get 2,500 life points back. But instead, it looks like we're probably just going to lose. So we'll just set an end. We'll see what his draw is here. We might have one more turn. That makes me really sad. So Future Fusion is not nearly as good as I thought it was in this deck. We'll admit defeat because I don't want to show him Decree. Is DD Crow good? Does Drill? I think it... Does it target the card in the graveyard? These are questions or answers I should know. No, it doesn't target. So DD Crow wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but also not great. I wonder how Area B and Gravity Bind will be. It could end up stalling things out. We'll get rid of the hero stuff. Maybe instead of the targeting, or the Trap Gen, I'll put in a Heavy Storm. Maybe I shouldn't do the Heavy Storm because, yeah, we'll do the Trap Gen instead. Thinking that I have a Decree, a Bind, and an Area B, stuff that stays on the field. So I will address what he said earlier about milling the Dandy and, you know, doing all that. Is if I did have an E hero in deck, doesn't matter how bad of a play it would be a legal activation, and I would have to resolve the Future Fusion. But because I don't have an E hero in deck, it was just an illegal activation. The card can't resolve, and I have no possible way to make it resolve. You know, I have no other fusions to reveal, so it is possible. I don't know why I was thinking he was going to be picking first. All right, opening hand. Black Illusion Ritual, Dandelion, Granmole, MST, Relinquished, Caius. So we'll go ahead, and I think just, again, we'll set Dandelion. I don't think we need to set MST. I think we can wait, keep it in hand for now, see how many back rows he puts down. He's more likely to put only one back row on the field if I have none, because he could fear the Heavy Storm. If I was to set MST, he might play 2, thinking that the Heavy Storm would then be a 2 for 2. He opens Lone Fire again. Lone Fire likely going to get Titanial, or is he going to go for a Lone Fire, Titanial? This is very similar to last game, except I had Decree set as well, which he never saw. So maybe that's telling me I should have taken the Decree out, considering it sat in my back row and literally never got activated. This is pretty good for me, because Granmole doesn't target. So he beats over the Dandy. Is it going to be exactly like last time? Is he going to Brain Control, pitch, special, a quick draw, and make a Drill Warrior? Nope, doesn't look like it. He does set one back row. Just end there. I'll trade potentially the MST for the back row. Okay, so it's an MST of his own. And I will just normal summon, declare, and bring Titanial and Neospatial Granmole back to hand, setting a Royal Decree and ending. Still have tokens on the field for a Caius play, also a Relinquished play. He'd have to get rid of both tokens this turn in order to have a pretty strong play against me right now. I feel like I have pretty good clapback plays. But if he is to, put some monsters on the field, he now knows I have Granmole as well. So he kind of has to play a little bit safer with his synchros, knowing that whatever he puts on the field can be returned unless he has protection for it. Not gonna lie, guys, I'm gonna take a quick hit of oxygen. Feeling a little headache come on, and I want to try to nip that in the bud. Makes me feel like Darth Vader getting my oxygen. Don't know if that works at all, the boost oxygen stuff. In the past, I've gotten cluster headaches. Headaches that hit almost behind your eye. I didn't realize that it was a not super common thing. I just assumed that every now and again everyone gets headaches that are really bad behind their eye. I didn't know if it was migraines, but they kind of come in not necessarily pairs. Yeah, no, not pairs. but they come on pretty hard and then can last for a week or two, kind of coming at the same time every day. They're really no fun at all. Hopefully, no one ever gets cluster headaches, but I'm sure some of you do as well. But I read that oxygen can help, and I didn't want to go on like medications, so just decided to buy some oxygen for 20 bucks. I don't know if it's helped, but I think, the best thing is just drink water, drink electrolytes, all that jazz. Okay, question here. He said a monster and then did his turn. We can Granmole, we can Caius, we can Eroda. I think the play here, I'm a little scared of Gores, but not scared enough to not attack at all. And I can also suck up his Gores in main phase 2. It was a Raikou. I figured it was a Raikou or a hamster. Okay. And yeah, we'll end there. The reinforcing the army allows me to get an Armageddon Knight, and then I can dump the Djinn and then use the Djinn for Black Illusion Ritual from the graveyard, summoning Relinquished. So I have a pretty strong play there. I wish I had some defense for it in the form of a Decree. The main goal of this deck is to make a special summon resistant, well, not resistant, but a walking Relinquished Vanity's Emptiness combination and back it up with the Decree and make it pretty difficult for your opponent to do anything. I think in this case, I do want to Rhoda. We'll get ourselves Armageddon Knight. Summon the Armageddon. Dumping the Djinn. And then we will Black Illusion Ritual. Banishing the Djinn. Special summoning Relinquished. Taking his face down monster. And we'll be able to attack for 14 plus 24. Nice 3,800 damage, and he can't special summon a Gores. He's asking. Maybe. He was typing for a second there. Okay, and I don't even think I have to set the Book of Moon, though he has used heavy, so might as well. Relinquished also now has the protection from battle for one turn. Well, I'm not going to say one turn, but protection from one battle, but he can't special summon, so he has to normal summon and attack the Relinquished. Okay, so there's game. That's kind of what we like to see. I think I'll just go into it again. So probably better without the hero stuff is I think what we're seeing in this deck. Maybe leaning a little more onto the quick draw stuff. The idea behind it was leaning into the quick draw stuff, but with the ability to get to the Dandy. But frankly, I don't think the Dandy is the main purpose of this deck the way that it is in other quick draw decks. I don't have a Debris Dragon that's relying on Dandy being in the graveyard. It just helps fuel the Black Illusion Ritual, but frankly, Dandy tokens are one of the lowest ways you want to be special summoning the Relinquished. You really want it to be one of the Djinns. So maybe it's better off to just throw both Djinns in there from the get-go. Or at least, the special summon Djinn, obviously. You're never going to not use that one. Okay, so we pitches Dandy, specials, quick draw, so he's got a strong start. I'm going to take this moment. It is 5:02. And my girlfriend is done at 5 o'clock, so I have to text her that she's done, just so she knows. I know that she does know, but it's a little tradition we have. Note to anyone, be cute. women tend to like that. Or maybe boys do too. I don't know. Depends on the person. But I know she likes it. But I feel like I need to tell her I'm recording just so she knows I'm not ignoring her. Okay, so he summons the Debris Dragon. So he's making the best play he possibly can. Drill Warrior, Stardust with a couple of tokens on field. But I will be able to suck up the Stardust. Let's hope that he doesn't have a bunch of back row. So he even has the Plague to discard, which is one of the better cards to discard. But no back row. Okay, so this is actually perfect. Opening hand is BLS. Black Illusion Ritual, Caius, Manju, Armageddon Knight, Gores, Foolish. Play here, I see, is pretty simple. Summon the Manju. Get the missing piece of Relinquished. Foolish Burial. Sending the Djinn. So DD Crow would be the biggest hindrance here. Let's see if he changes DD Crow, because he would have to. We will banish the Djinn. Special Summoning. This allows us to eat the Stardust. It's a non-destruction effect, so Stardust can't do a thing about it. And then we can go ahead, attack over his tokens. And he can't bring back the Drill Warrior in standby. Can't special summon. Yes, he targeted my Relinquished. The only way would be if he has a Book of Moon to activate and draw. He's asking. Not as long as Relinquished is face up. From effect of banished Djinn. It is a combo that you don't see very often, but it's a pretty gross combo. So he now has 3 cards to my 5, considering the Relinquished and Stardust is its own combo. This stops any Gores from happening. That he copy-pasted the text of Djinn. And he left. Let's hope that he's not just rage quitting. But it seems likely that he is. I mean, it's not a fun combo to play against. I think it's a pretty good combo. I think Relinquished has a lot of potential. I think Manju and Armageddon Knight seem to be the best ways to play him. They both act in a way as tutors. Obviously, Manju is just a tutor in and of itself. It gets you the ritual spell or the ritual monster. Relinquished being level 1 gives it the most flexibility with what you contribute, because you only need, I mean, you contribute to Kai's, you can literally tribute one of anything. Again, it kind of does hurt if you want to make a unkillable ritual monster the way Garlandorf does with multiple Djinns. But to make a special summon stopper, it is probably best with the Relinquished because it also has the built-in uh, destruction protection. Granted, it's only battle, but when you can't special summon, if you're able to clear the board that turn, or just take their biggest monster, you're basically saying you have to find a way to kill this without using monsters, because you can't. Very rarely can someone special summon, or I'm sorry, normal summon a monster that's bigger from a board of nothing. Maybe if, depending on what it is, they contribute for a Caius or something, but in that case, they can also just banish the Relinquished. But like in this, he can't normal summon. All right, so I won. Yeah, I can't normal summon, or he can't normal summon, okay, I'm sorry, anything bigger than 2,500. Almost certainly not. He has no ability to. I can just kind of start poking him for damage with no fear of gores. The Decree works great because some of the only ways to get rid of it would be something like a Mirror Force, a Dimensional Prison, cards like that. Also, you could try something like Heavy Storm and then normal summon, because Heavy Storm would destroy the Stardust Dragon, and then you can just attack over the 0/0 Relinquished. So there are clearly ways around it. Book of Moon just straight flips Relinquished face down, and then I lose the special summon negating ability because the card is no longer face up. If you remember Necros format, that was a really big strategy. Though I think it was Book of Eclipse, the one that flipped all monsters face down, I think was a little more common than just a Book of Moon. But I could be wrong. I can't, there's so many formats, hard to keep track of what sideboard cards were most popular and when. But we'll go take a look at the deck. I don't think I'm going to play a second match, unfortunately. I know you guys love it. Let me know, actually, if you've gotten this far. What length of videos do you guys prefer? Do you like hour-long plus? Do you like 30 to 40 minutes? Do you like quick ones? I was looking back at my old content and saw that a lot of the content was like 12 to 18 minutes. I think I would almost just play one game and then be over, and especially GOAT format where the games are just like, oh, I drew my BLS Pot of Greed, Graceful Charity, and Crazy Monsters and win in 3 turns. These tend to be a bit more slow and grindy in Edison format, which I do like. I think it's a healthier format, which is why I think it's become so popular. But let me know if you've gotten this far. Again, what length of videos you like. I can cater towards whatever people seem to be enjoying. Like and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you don't feel like doing it, I suppose I can't stop you from disliking and unsubscribing. But yeah, thank you all for watching very much. I hope you have a great day. Maybe I'll try to fix this deck and play with it a little bit more in the future. Thank you again, and goodbye.